The sun is fake. That's right. That's what you heard me say. I said the sun isn't real. It's all about the government. But you understand that when you come here, my job is to expose the government and everything they do and all their craziness and their madness and their kookiness and their wackiness and their evilness. Now, I got to explain something to you. Do you know that if you're a psychopath or a sociopath, your two number one choices of profession are CEO or lawyer? And do you know what all politicians are? Lawyers. That's right. We're being run by psycho and sociopaths, and that's why the government can never be believed, and they lie about everything. They even lie. Oh, wait, that's coming down a little bit. Oh, yeah, we can't have that. All right, and that's why the government would even lie about the sun. So they say that the sun is 93 million miles away. Well, that's too far. You couldn't see the sun if it was that far away? Absolutely not. And you don't know why? I'll tell you why. Because we can't see that far. This is coming down. What the hell's going on today? But, we can't see that far. We can only see about 100 miles. So if the sun is 93 miles away, how can we possibly see it? We couldn't. See, what's really going on here is the sun is localized. It's a local sun. It's much closer than what they're saying. And you know how I can prove it? All right, here's how. And it's very, very easy to understand. All right, so how do we know the sun is 93 million miles away? Has anybody walked there? With a measuring tape? Of course not. You know why? Because you can't walk in outer space. You just float like this. So you get to outer space and start floating, and then you float away. So that's why I know, they can't possibly prove that the sun is 93 miles away. 93 million miles away. I mean, what am I saying? 93 miles away. Of course, it's further than 93 miles. If you can see 100 miles, it could be 100 miles away. And just besides that, like, if the sun was 93 miles away, 93, I keep saying that, but if the sun was 93 million miles away, then how come it's warm here? Like, all warm and everything, and my body feels all warm from the touch of the sun, or at least it's light, and they try to say that lie to us all. It's a great big conspiracy. They lie to us all. They say, well, it's solar radiation. That can't be true. That's not true at all. You're going to tell me that radiation keeps me warm in the afternoon when I'm peering out through my curtain slit just like that so nobody can see me? Absolutely not. That's impossible. I can prove it. All right, you drop a nuclear bomb, right? You got radiation fallout. What does that do? That kills people. So if it was solar radiation, we'd all be dying all over the place from radiation. So one of the other things I noticed, now I can prove it again. There's another way of proving this, right? Have you ever noticed that when you see the moon at night and you see the sun during the day, they're the same size? That proves that the sun is not only 93 million miles away, it's the same size as the moon, and it's probably just about as far away, if not even closer. So the sun could actually be smaller than the moon, but closer. See how that looks only bigger than this? Yet when I go like that, it's smaller. See? Now, that's it. That's right. I am explaining science to you, and that's all about science. And also, I got to tell you, did you know that the sun, it's also flat? The sun is also flat. It's completely flat, all right? And I'm looking at my notes. You've watched me before, so you understand what's going on, all right? So it's flat, and it's flat. The sun is flat, just like this dinner plate. That's right. It's flat, just like this dinner plate. And okay, dinner plate's got a slight curve, but that's like over there. But that's only so your food doesn't fall off. But this is flat, just like the sun. And you know how I know? Because they looked up at the sun. And that's how they invented the dinner plate, because they said we should eat off something that's shaped like the sun. So your plate is flat. So that means if there was no sun, they would have never invented the dinner plate. No, not at all. Something else you need to know. You might be wondering, well, how does the sun burn? How does it burn so bright and all the time? And that's because the sun is on fire, and it's made of wood. That's right, the sun is made of wood. And so it's burning wood, because you can burn wood, right? No, can you burn metal? No, not at all. You can melt metal, but you can't burn metal, all right? Okay, one time I burned a plate, but that's only because the flame was too hot, but the plate wasn't really burnt, like it didn't catch fire. But wood will catch fire. So the sun, it's made out of wood. And you might also be thinking, but there's no oxygen in outer space. There's no oxygen in outer space, So, but my attitude is, how do you know? Have you ever been to outer space? No, you haven't. So you know what that means? That means there is oxygen in outer space, and that's how the sun that's made out of wood is able to burn, like in outer space, because, it's all... it's made out of wood. But the other thing I want to point out, and it's very, 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 very important. You might be wondering, but I can see stars in the distance, and they're more than 93 million miles away, and that would mean the sun could be 93 million miles away, and I can still see it if I can see stars that were like light years away, like billions and billions and billions of miles away. I'm going to tell you what it really is. Outer space is fake. That's right, outer space is fake. Because what the government did is, years ago, while everybody was sleeping, they took a big, gigantic black velvet cloth, and they hung it up in the sky, and then they put little pinholes in it, and what's behind it is all white. So when you think of stars, that's really just pinholes, so you can see the white behind the black velvet cloth, and that's what it is. So if they took that black velvet cloth away, that would mean that the sky is completely white, even at night. Okay, so you understand. Now, there's something else you might want to bring up, something else, and I understand it's all about the science, and that's what's important to me and important to you. It's all about the science. You might be thinking, well, all right, so they put the big black velvet cloth out there, and that was beautiful and wonderful and exciting when they did it, and nobody noticed because, I don't know, maybe they drugged everybody on the planet. I'm not sure what happened that day. But anyway, so you might also be thinking, but during the summer and the winter, the sun is in a different spot. And so we cool, and we have warmer temperatures, and then we have really cold temperatures. I'm going to tell you what's happening. The government gets on a big ladder, and they move the sun a little to the side, so you get colder. So that way you think we're revolving around the sun, and that the planet's going like this, because, they say we do this as we go around the sun, and it's all bullshit. It's all government plot. Now, I hope you understood the science today, because I just want to educate you and let you know that the government, they're bad people, that they lied about the sun. The sun's not 93 million miles away. It's really close. It may be smaller than the moon, and outer space is fake. It's a big black velvet cloth with little pinholes that they put in it so we can see all the white light behind it. Okay, you have a dynamite audience. You really are. You are the best audience I've ever had. I love you. Good night. Rock and roll.